Okay, so we're diving deep today into something I know a lot of you are thinking about or going to be thinking about eventually, and that is engineered wood flooring.
Oh,
We've got
yes.
this really fantastic guide as our main source here. And
Yeah.
what we really want to do is kind of go beyond, just what it is and figure
Mhm.
out why people love it so much. And more importantly, how we can maybe get this stuff
Right.
into our homes without breaking the bank.
Absolutely.
And the big thing here seems to be that it's like real wood. You get the beauty of real wood, but it's actually way more practical
Mhm.
than solid wood. And of course, probably a lot easier on the wallet.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's unpack all this
Yeah, let's dive
and
in.
figure out what's going on here.
Well, engineered wood flooring has really become so popular
Yeah.
in the home improvement world, and for good reason.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, when you look at how it's actually made,
Mhm.
like our guide points out, it's not some completely fake wood thing.
Right.
It's got a top layer, this wear layer, and that is 100% real wood,
Okay.
but it sits on top of a core made of multiple layers of either plywood or what they call HDF, high-density fiberboard.
So it's not just like a picture of wood.
No.
This is a real deal.
It's the real deal.
On the top, yeah.
Okay, got it. And this layered construction, the guide suggests, is really the secret to all of its practical benefits,
Interesting.
especially when it comes to stability, right?
Yeah. I mean, solid wood,
Yeah.
it can be a little temperamental.
Oh, absolutely. It can be very sensitive to changes in, temperature, humidity,
Right.
things like that.
It's a living thing in a way.
Yeah, it is. In a way, it is.
So how does engineered wood do it better?
Well, the fascinating thing is that those multiple layers in the core, right?
Yeah.
They're cross-layered plies that actually counteract that natural tendency of wood to expand and contract,
Okay.
primarily along its grain. Think of it like plywood.
Yeah.
That crisscrossing makes it so strong and stable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So where a solid wood floor might warp or get gaps with changes in temperature or humidity.
Oh, yeah, you see that a lot.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Engineered wood is much less susceptible.
Much less, yeah.
So if you live somewhere with, big weather swings or parts of your house that get more moisture,
Right.
this is a big plus.
Absolutely. I mean, you want to protect that investment.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
And speaking of modern homes,
Yeah.
the guide also points out something really important.
Okay.
Its compatibility with underfloor heating.
Oh, that's a big one these days, right?
Huge, yeah. More and more people want that.
Definitely.
So you've got to consider that.
So how does it work better with that than solid wood?
Well, solid wood can actually act as an insulator.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which can really reduce the efficiency of your heating.
I would never have thought of that.
Yeah, and plus those temperature changes up and down
Yeah.
can be really hard on solid wood.
Oh, makes sense. It's going to expand contract there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So engineered wood, because of its construction,
Right.
it handles those temperature changes much better.
So it's not going to warp and buckle.
Right. And that heat can transfer more effectively into the room.
So it's a win-win. You're getting the heat. You're not
Yeah.
ruining your floor.
Exactly. It's really practical for modern homes.
Yeah. And I love to DIY.
Yeah,
A lot of our listeners probably do too.
sure.
The guide mentions that engineered wood is often easier to install.
Oh, absolutely.
Could you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, so many engineered wood floors come with what are called click fit or tongue and groove systems.
Okay.
So it's kind of like putting together a puzzle. They
Yeah.
snap together
Oh, cool.
without needing nails or a ton of adhesive in most cases.
That is way
It's
easier.
way easier, yeah.
I've done some flooring projects.
Yeah.
That nailing down stuff is a pain.
Oh, it's the worst.
So this is appealing.
Oh, yeah, if you're handy, you can definitely DIY it.
Wow.
And even if you hire someone, the faster installation means lower labor costs.
So it was quicker and cheaper.
Exactly, a win-win.
I love efficiency.
It's all about efficiency.
Time is money.
Exactly.
And speaking of money, this guide suggests that they can offer engineered wood flooring at a lower cost than other places online.
Mm-hmm.
How do they do that?
Well, it's really interesting. They primarily source their wood directly from the manufacturers.
Okay.
So they cut out the traditional distribution chain
Right.
with all those middlemen
Yeah.
and all the added markups that come with that.
So everyone's getting a cut.
Yeah, and that adds up.
Yeah.
So this direct-to-consumer approach
Right.
can lead to much more competitive pricing.
Okay, so less hands in the pot,
Yeah.
lower price.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Pretty straightforward.
What else contributes to the savings?
Well, their purchasing power is a big factor.
Okay.
Because they buy in such large volumes.
Yep.
They can negotiate much better rates.
Right, so it's like buying in bulk.
Exactly.
Like
So
Carson.
exactly. The cost per unit goes down, and they can pass those savings on to the customer.
So it's the Costco model for flooring.
Basically,
I
yeah.
like it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And they're primarily online,
Right.
which the guide says means lower operational costs.
Mhm.
So how does that translate to savings for the buyer?
Well, running a business online means you don't have the overhead of a physical showroom.
Right.
You know, you don't have to pay rent utilities. You don't need a large staff.
You're not paying for salespeople.
Exactly. All those expenses add up,
Yeah.
and all those savings get passed on to the customer.
So leaner operation, better price.
That's the idea.
I like it.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
And it sounds like they're big on deals and special offers.
Oh, yeah. The guide specifically mentions their sales section.
Okay.
You know, keep an eye on that for limited time offers or promotions.
So you got to be a savvy shopper.
Always got to be on the lookout.
I like it. I like it.
It's a good way to save some money.
All right. So for those listening who are actually thinking about getting this stuff,
Yeah.
how can they really maximize their budget?
Yeah, great question.
The guide has some super practical tips, starting with accurate room measurements.
Oh, that's crucial.
Why is that so important?
Well, because miscalculating how much flooring you need,
Yeah.
that's a really common mistake, and it can cost you.
Right.
If you underestimate, you might have to order more, and then you risk getting a batch that doesn't quite match.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
It can be, yeah. Or if you overestimate, you've just wasted money on material you don't need.
Okay, so measure twice, cut once.
Exactly. The guide recommends measuring carefully and then adding 5 to 10%
Okay.
to account for cuts and waste.
So that little extra buffer
Yeah, it's a lifesaver.
for those inevitable mistakes.
Always going to be a few.
Yeah, okay, good tip. What about the thickness of the flooring itself?
Right.
The guide talks about the wear layer.
Yeah.
What should we be thinking about there?
So the wear layer is that top layer of real wood,
Mm-hmm.
and its thickness really determines how durable the floor is,
Okay.
how well it'll stand up to scratches, dents, everyday wear and tear.
So for high traffic areas, you want something thicker.
Exactly, yeah. Like the guide says, for a guest bedroom that doesn't get used much, a 2 to 3 millimeter wear layer is probably fine.
Right.
But for hallways, living rooms, kitchens,
Dizzy spots.
yeah, you want to go thicker, 4 to 6 millimeters.
Right.
It'll cost a bit more upfront,
Right.
but it'll last much longer.
So you got to think long term.
Absolutely balance that upfront cost with the value you're going to get over time.
I like it so matched the thickness to the traffic.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Smart.
The guide also mentions clearance ranges
Yes.
as a potential source of
A
saving.
gold mine, yeah.
What's the deal with that?
Well, clearance sections are where you'll find products that are being discontinued or they're just end of stock.
Okay.
So it could be perfectly good, even premium engineered wood flooring.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's discounted because the supplier isn't carrying that specific style anymore.
Right.
Or maybe they just have too much inventory.
So if you're flexible on color and style.
Yeah, if you're not too picky, you can really score some great deals there.
Amazing. Okay, last tip from the guide.
Okay.
Free samples.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that so important?
This is all about making sure you're really happy with what you're getting.
Okay.
Because what you see on a screen doesn't always match reality.
Yeah.
You know, colors, textures, they can look different in person.
Yeah.
So order those free samples.
Okay.
See how they look in your own home with your lighting and your decor.
So you know what you're getting.
Exactly. You can assess the quality firsthand and avoid making a costly mistake.
So measure accurately. Think about that. Wear, layer, check out the clearance deals, and get those samples.
Golden rules.
I love that. They're shifting gears a bit. The guide also talks about the huge variety of styles and finishes available.
Yeah, there's so much to choose from.
It sounds like there's something for everyone.
Oh, absolutely. Engineered wood isn't just practical. It's also incredibly versatile.
Okay.
You've got your classic wood species like oak and walnut.
Beautiful, timeless.
Timeless, yeah. They bring a real elegance to any room.
And then there's the more modern options.
Right, like the gray tones.
Yeah, that's super popular now.
Very trendy, very chic.
So you've got the wood types and the colors.
Yeah, and then you've got the different surface treatments.
Oh, right, which I guess changes how it looks and feels.
Exactly. Each treatment gives the wood a different character. You've got brushed and oiled finishes, which have a more natural, slightly textured surface.
I like that.
Yeah, it really shows off the grain of the wood.
Mhm.
Then you've got lacquered finishes,
Yep.
which are smoother, more glossy.
More polished looking.
Exactly. Yeah. And then there's smoking or staining,
Oh.
which creates those deeper, richer color tones.
So you can really customize the look.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the lane patterns.
Oh, right.
Like herringbone and chevron.
Yeah, very cool.
They add a really stylish, modern element.
So whether you want cozy and rustic or sleek and modern,
Yeah,
you can find it.
you got it.
Awesome. Okay, so we've learned a lot.
We have.
Engineered wood flooring is popular for a reason.
For many reasons.
It's real wood, but it's more stable.
Right.
Works better with modern heating,
Mm-hmm.
easier to install, and potentially a lot cheaper.
And let's not forget about all those surface styles.
Yeah, there's something for every taste and budget.
Absolutely.
And we've got some great tips for saving money.
Yeah, we do.
sourcing directly from the manufacturer, measuring carefully, thinking about those wear layers,
Yeah,
looking for clearance deals,
absolutely.
and always
Oh,
getting those free samples.
it's the best way to avoid buyer's remorse.
Couldn't agree more. So the big takeaway here is
Yeah.
you can get the look and feel of real wood flooring
Mm-hmm.
without paying a premium price.
That's the beauty of engineered wood.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay.
What's most important to you in choosing flooring?
Yeah.
Is it the durability, the style, the cost?
It's all a balancing act.
It is.
You've got to find what works best for your home and your lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.
See you then.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.